Hey everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to an impromptu, unscheduled show. Haven't done one of these in a while, so hopefully I remember how to do it. Hopefully everything's working okay. You'll have to let me know if you're watching this live, if you can hear and or see me. Seems like maybe my volume's a little off. Let's see here. Got a couple people in the chat already. I see the wise chat manager says good morning, afternoon all. Lori says, so happy I received your text notification. I'll talk about that in a minute. So, all right. Looks like it is working. Let me just look at my, what do you call it? My audio bouncy meters. It looks like it's bouncing around. And you know what? I'll go ahead and start this thing off with my normal spiel. Welcome to Break the Cycle with DSD. I am your host, Duane. I am rusty in doing all of this, but I am not a licensed professional. I'm just an individual much like you who's gone through a rough time, figured out some tips and techniques to help me get my life back that I share with you to help you get your life back and hopefully to strengthen and rebuild the relationship with your kids. Remember, only a licensed professional can diagnose somebody with a personality disorder, so obviously learn about it, understand the patterns of behavior and what they do, but don't go around diagnosing your ex because it'll just get you into trouble. And you got, basically, you have your credibility is your greatest asset, and don't squander it. Trust me, it just doesn't help you. Channel memberships. I'm not actually going to talk about this right now, but I do appreciate all the people who have become channel members. I know this has been a really bizarre year, so I really appreciate the people that have stuck with me through the channel membership stuff. Hopefully things will calm down soon and I can get back to some sense of normal. Somebody mentioned the text notification. If you want to get notified when I go live or post a premiere or something, you can do that by texting DSDLIVE to 1-844-598-0012. All you got to do is just text the words DSDLIVE as one thing to the phone number 844-598-0012. And then I can send you a text notification of when a show is going live. So we can just bypass the YouTube notifications and all that, all that crazy stuff. I'm not sure if my phone thing even works, so I might turn that on, maybe. It's not on now. I forgot to set it up, but we'll just have to figure that out. So hopefully you guys are all doing okay. Let's see here. What else can I... trying to remember what else I'm missing. Oh, crud, I just hit the wrong button. I hate it when I do that. No, not the wrong button. I was trying to readjust my chat. Anyways, hopefully everybody's doing okay. I tried to sneak out for the weekend. Took Friday off. Figured I would head out on a grand adventure. Started driving up the 395. Figured I'd find some epic place to hang out. And as I proceeded to go farther and farther north, it got more and more and more smoky. And I ended up calling a buddy of mine who lives up farther north, and I'm like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, not good. I'm like, oh crap, I was thinking about heading your direction, not to necessarily see him, but just going up that way. And he's like, man, don't do it. The smoke and the fires are just, it's not good. Air quality's bad. So I ended up turning around and then just ended up coming back home. So kind of a weird weekend. Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend. Let me see what else we got going on here. See a few people talking. So, hey, and I see Paul. Your comment just popped up. Paul, when I got back, I saw your emails. I will respond to them. Man, you know, it's amazing how these situations just continue, and no matter what you do, there's just no way to break through to a toxic, narcissistic ex who's just hell-bent on being right and not co-parenting and really, truly trying to do what may be in the best interest of your kids. They can hide behind it. They can try to say, "Oh, yeah, I'm only focused on that." You know, I haven't said this in a while, but I'll say this now. You got to focus on the actions and their words. So just because somebody says something, and I just want to say, I mean, if it's one of those things where they tell you one thing and you can use that kind of in a way to, I don't know what the word is, validate. I don't even know how to open this. Trying to get, I forgot I do this this chat thing, not chat thing, but a notification. So I just opened it. Man, that kind of just completely threw my thought process off. Let me just get this realigned. So this is what happens whenever you don't do this in a long time and you're trying to figure out what's going on or trying to remember how to do everything. Anyways, my point is this. Let me get back onto the topic. What I'm trying to say is, please look at what they do, not what they say. I've seen so many times where someone will start to be making a breakthrough, and then the person will be like, "Oh, it was a miss. Oh, this is what's really going on. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't understand. Now I do." And you want so bad for this nightmare to not exist that for a moment you might even say, "Oh, wow, okay, all right, it was just a big misunderstanding. This person isn't really toxic. It was just a miscommunication. It was just that type of thing." Be careful of that, because that can lull you back into a false sense of security that can get you to lower your defenses and allow that person to come back in and basically just, stab you in the heart, for the lack of a better word. So on that, what I do want to say, if you are new, if you go to the main DSD page and scroll down past the uploads, which is just the current videos, and this playlist right here, this Mindset for Narcissistic Abuse Recovery, has a collection of videos. Okay, some of them are old, but they will be incredibly helpful for you. If you have children, this hybrid no contact is incredibly important, because as you know, if you have children, you cannot go no contact because you have kids. And I'll just say this, if you're in the beginning part of litigation, going no contact and not communicating at all will absolutely be used against you. They will turn around and say, "See, they won't communicate. I've sent hundreds of emails and they ignore them all. They're a bad person." Don't do that, but follow the hybrid no contact principles so that you can do communication. Now, once your situation is over and you have a court order or finalized order, then you can be a little more selective on how you actually comment. And what I would say on that, let me just scroll down here. What I would say on that is, most of the time you don't need to respond when litigation's over. If they are just, if they're sending a bunch of crap to you and you're in the midst of litigation, make sure you respond. You don't have to respond like Johnny on the spot, like the same second you get it. You can wait a day. And then follow the hybrid no contact, coming back over here. In this little video, let's see if my mouse shows up. Does my mouse show? Yeah, right here. This one right here. Because it will help you to craft the right message so that you don't get yourself in trouble. And then the next two videos, incredibly important. Absolute Thinking for Recovery, which I know that with the beginning, I say don't diagnose a person. What I mean is don't think what you figure it out and tell everyone else. Absolute thinking is figuring it out for yourself and reminding yourself what you're dealing with. The reason this is incredibly important is because every time something happens, you need to remind yourself that you're dealing with a certain type of person. Maybe they have MPD. Maybe you think they have MPD. Maybe you think they have borderline. Maybe you think they're comorbid. Maybe you think they're antisocial personality disorder. Whatever the case may be, remind yourself of what it is so that you don't lull yourself into that false sense of security and get yourself into trouble. And the next one, this black hole thinking, super important because you will undoubtedly, because we all do, look at what your ex is doing and or getting away with and or able to do that you're not able to do because of money or whatever the situation is, and compare your life to theirs. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It will drag you back down into the pit of hell. So black hole thinking is a methodology to stop thinking about what's going on. Whatever the X is going on with your ex, think of it as a black hole. On the other side, there's no light, nothing escapes. You cannot tell what's going on the other side. And do you want to venture into the black hole? Hopefully the answer is no, because nothing good comes from that. And then the videos farther into the list cover the other issues that we all end up having to deal with. What I want to do right now, if I can find it, I want to say thank you so much to Tiffany for the super chat. It says hit the like button, and it appears as though 13 people have, in fact, followed Tiffany's outstanding advice. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate the support. And for anyone who's interested, if you would like to do a super chat, you can basically do that on YouTube, which I'm only broadcasting on YouTube. I don't know. I said that in a way like, whatever. Anyways, all right, let me see what else is going on. If you guys have some questions or something, you can tag me in the chat by just doing @DSD. It lights it up orange on my side so I can see what's going on. And I will attempt to cover any particular issues you have. Partly this is just kind of a target of opportunity. I have not been able to do a live in quite a while. And as you probably have seen, I have been a little remiss. Oh, wow, it's focusing on the wrong thing. On videos. I've been really having a hard time being able to record them. Life is just doing what it does and just adding so many little flavors of excitement, which makes it a little tough. I will also say that when it's 113 degrees out, it's really hard to go stand outside and make a video. So let me see what's going on in the chat, see what I have missed. Moderator Debbie, I think I have our shared notes. It's up. Let's see if that works. Anyways. All right, so I'm going to scroll down here and see what's going on. Wise Chat Manager says, the air has been crap on the East Coast a bit too. These wildfires can't be helpful for the environment. No, it's not good. I mean, it's like every year it just keeps getting worse. So, is what it is. Tim says, next time it gets really smoky, open the window. See, here's the problem. I have asthma and I have, that is breathing issues. And smoke, thank God most people don't smoke anymore. I mean, I don't care what other people do, but for me to be around it, oh man, it just burns my eyes. It makes it hard for me to breathe. I have problems with like even chemicals, like certain chemical smells. It's like it freaking shuts down my breathing. But it is, one of those things I just have to deal with, kind of like with what's been going on with my shoulder lately. Bear says, what a long, strange trip it has been. That is, man, I think every one of us has been through an experience that just doesn't make any sense. Defy Dad says, DSD, it's constantly being bothered when I have my kids and the need for the ex to always be right, quote unquote, that starts to get me tripped out. And then goes on to say, and twisting things to mean something else. Oh my God, they are outstanding at that. It's like a skill that they master, which they actually do, because the reality is these people live and grow in these environments, so it's instinctively, what they do is instinctive. It's like they've had a lifetime of practice, so it makes it really tough to interact with them or even try to fight them, because they've got decades of experience doing this, playing these mind games. And as Hakuna, if I'm saying that right, says, it's relentless and exhausting, which is, man, ain't that the truth? That is so true. You know, I had a thought I was going to say. Oh, I was going to continue on with what DeFi Dad was saying. You know, on the being bothered thing, remember that is also a trap, because it's one of those things where they're trying to make sure that the kids and you are thinking of them. So they don't want you to have a moment of peace, and they can hide behind it. Well, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just saying hello to the kids. What's wrong with that? You know? And the hard part about it, typically, and I'll ask you, Defy Dad, if this is what you're experiencing, is typically what happens is the narcissistic, toxic person, the kids will text, they'll walk in your door, they haven't seen you for a week, and they're like, they're clickety-click, clackety-clack. And the second they go back to the other side, into the black hole, it's like a black hole, because you cannot get a hold of them. If you try to text them or you try to get with them, it's like they don't respond. Guys, if you are experiencing that, don't take that personally. Just know that when a child is in the midst of all this stuff, they're just trying to survive. They know that if they don't respond to the other parent when they get back, they're going to get guilt tripped and punished for it. And they know that if they're with, when they are with the other parent, that if they're texting, it's like, oh, who's that? Oh, is that your dad? Or is that your mom? And it's just, they get subtly programmed on it. Defy Dad, typically try not to make an issue out of it. Take a deep breath. As school starts up, what I would recommend, if if they have direct contact, set times for the network, to be off. So in other words, if it's like, okay, homework time is whatever, and our bedtime is 9 o'clock, then you basically shut off the network. And if they have cell phones, like on Verizon, they have a family plan. You could basically say, hey, look, you need to be asleep, not texting your friends, and just shut it off. Be careful though, because they'll try to use it against you. And if you use the school thing, sometimes that you can make that a valid excuse, a valid reason. Let's see here. Oh, and the twisting things to mean something else. What I'll just say on that, guys, no matter what you do, it's going to be the wrong thing. If you do the right thing, it'll be spun somehow to not be legit or to mean something different, like this, like Defy Dad said, and twist it to mean something else. So at the end of the day, when you make a decision, make the best decision for you and your child, and focus on that. For instance, I've used this story before, but I'll just mention it briefly. When I went to move into this house, initially when I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, I really like this house. I remember looking at this house when they were building it, and I'm like, man, I'd like to live there. And I started to feel guilty. I'm like, you know what? If I do that, that's going to make the ex mad. Maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe I should find some place that's not so, not this place. And I almost did. Fortunately, in my situation, the ex, being the glorious human that she is, took her bony little finger and went boop right in my eye. Ugh. And I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'll live here. I want to, it's not on the outskirts of town. It's in a nicer area. I live in a small town anyway, so like everything is like 3 miles away, it feels. anyways, and so I mean, I would have been punished no matter what. So know that no matter what you do, they're going to twist it. Just expect it, and just understand that there's no pleasing people like this. Lori says, I always hear your words and know he's not to be trusted or are setting me up. Write as little as possible to them. Oh my God, that is so true. That's why hybrid no contact. I'm back over here, this video right here. If I can make this bigger. What if I go like this? That video right there, ooh, I won't do that because I don't want to see myself move. Very important. If you haven't seen it, go check it after the live stream. Go check it out. All right, I'm getting behind, so let me try to scroll through this. Bears says, my ex and I broke clean and don't have kids, but this channel has helped so much. I know Bears has been a long time subscriber. And the reason why that is what she said is so true is because these folks follow the same patterns. They follow the same playbook. So obviously, if you have kids, it makes a stronger and longer connection. However, even if you don't, they're going to follow the same type of manipulative patterns. And these techniques can actually really help you even if you don't have kids. So let's see. Scrolling down through. Lori says, if I reply, if I reply, he uses it against me. If I don't, he writes it in the order that I never reply. Perfect example of, let me go back to that. Perfect example of the double bind. And here's the thing. If you use hybrid no contact correctly, there's nothing that he can use against you. And potentially you'll be able to use the emails against him depending on what's said. So anyways, I did see some people tag me over here. So let me just kind of scroll. So, all right, let me go. I got to go down. I wonder if can I do a search on? Oh, cool, I can. Remember, anybody who's been a long-time viewer knows I always get frustrated because it's like, why can't they put a search thing in the comments and the live comments? And the company that I use, they listened to me and they did it. They did it. Let's see. So I can see that Defice Dad says, where did he says? Goes, yeah, yes, yes, exactly. I started saying for the ex to complain about to the person you're with now and leave the kids out of things. I mean, I don't even understand what that means. So yeah, start saying for the ex to complain to the person. Oh, I see what you're saying. See, here's the thing with that. I get what he's saying. Okay, let me read that again because I was thinking it was going a different way, so it messed me up. So you're saying, I started saying for the ex to complain to the person you're with now, your new relationship, your new beau, right? And leave the kids out of things. Guys, you can't reason with somebody like this. It's just not going to work. You can try and beat your head against the wall. And I get it. We all have to at some point. But just realize that it's an exercise in frustration. So, all right. So I see John Steinbeck dropped in. He did a super chat too. So, hey, John, if you guys don't know, John runs Brainwashing Children. It's a YouTube channel and a pretty big Facebook group. He's an expert in parental alienation and how to restore your relationship with your kids after it's really gone bad. So I would definitely encourage you to check out his stuff. Hopefully one of these days, maybe next week, we will be able to do another live stream or something together. It's just been, I got to clip my cable and it's getting all messed up. It's been tough doing the coordination. So thanks so much, John, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And oh, by the way, the microphone comes courtesy of Mr. Steinbeck. Aw. Thanks so much, Wise Chat Manager did a super chat as well. I can see there's a trend. There's a $50 super chat and a $49.99 super chat, and now there's a $49.98 super chat. You guys are hilarious. You make me laugh. I appreciate it. See, that's why I like doing these. Most of the times whenever I do a live stream, I feel it's like it's fun. You guys make me laugh. And it's hard sometimes because, you go through these situations and they're so rough that you don't even think you almost feel guilty for even trying to find some joy in life. I wish we should talk about that in a minute too. But let me go through some more of these and see what I'm missing. Oh, I see. Thanks, John. John says happy birthday, so I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, yesterday was my birthday, so that was part of my plan. I was going to go out, hang out in the mountains, look at the stars, enjoy fresh, clean air. Not so much. So I turned around and hung out with my son and played Fortnite. Oh, Lori says, mine don't have cell phones yet, thank goodness. My ex doesn't want to be bothered. He rarely calls on my timeshare, although he constantly trying to come to my house. Ugh. Yeah, that's no good. Coming to the house is no good. Actually, to be honest, not reaching out to the kids is kind of sucks too. It's amazing. Oftentimes, when I look at the different people on the channel, you got the fathers who want, or I'll just say you got the fathers who want to be in the kids' lives, and the mom is interfering with it or making it impossible. And then conversely, you have the moms who, if they have custody, it's like, why can't this person be involved in their child's life? I mean, it's almost we have a tendency to team up with the wrong people. Our pickers are broken, and we need to be better pickers. Tim says, our job is to be the normal parent. Keep the mouth closed about the ex and do normal stuff. Let the ex self-isolate or immolate. I'll have to look that one up. The kids settle out after a while. This part of what Tim's saying is so true and so important. It's so tough because we feel like we have to fight every battle, especially in the beginning. And we feel like we're losing our kids, and we're like, well, I have to fight for the kids. And the reality is, it's so bizarre. If you directly confront and or fight the situation directly with the kids, you will push the kids away. Your best defense is what Tim was talking about, is just basically have a normal experience with the kids. Try to keep it as the chaos as minimal as possible, and just build on your relationship with them. That, guys, I'll tell you, when I say guys, I mean everybody here. I'm not talking about just men. And just as a clarification, because sometimes I get this is not a men's channel. This is a recovery channel for anybody who's are surviving a toxic relationship. So it can be men or women. So anyways, it's just so tough, And these people make it so damn hard. And they just beat you down over time. And it's so easy to lose hope. It's so easy to lose sight of the progress that you've made. And it makes it incredibly tough. So Laura goes on and says, mine has a new supply exactly like the Psychopath 3 book. That is my life. I asked for a divorce. I figure out he's NPD. He publicly discarded me and replaced me, the smear campaign. And a lot of times the new relationship is part of the smear, right? It's like if they can get with somebody new super fast and then start posting on social media, oh my God, I found my real soulmate, insinuating that the last person was a piece of crap. And, now I've been able to find a better person and run that smear campaign. And guys, here's the thing, going back to black hole thinking, doesn't matter. If they find, somebody new and they get remarried and they're posting happy snaps, it doesn't matter, right? That's their illusion. It has no bearing on your life. I mean, even though it feels like it does, but in reality, you got to focus on rebuilding your life. And that means healing from this scenario, figuring out how you got into this situation in the first place, doing the work on yourself to work through the pain, the anger, the frustration, the bitterness, to purge that out of your life, which ultimately purges that toxic person out of your life. And then you'll come to realize it doesn't matter if you have somebody, you don't have somebody. What you have to find is your peace. That trumps everything else. And typically, once you find that, then you'll typically find somebody new. All right. Sorry, I was trying to read something. So let's see. I'm going to see if anyone is... Oh, man. Well, I'm going to hit this one just because. John says, I'm going to sign up again as a channel member. Was hit by credit card theft thanks to Equifax. Thanks to Equifax? Ew. Oh, that's right. They had a data breach a while back, didn't they? Oh, man, that sucks. Been a mess trying to clean up what they did. If you were part of the Equifax breach, get new cards. I wonder if, you know what? That's an incredible, I mean, that's a good PSA, John. Appreciate you saying that because I got caught up in that recently too. And what a pain. Oh, my God. And then all the different things that just fall off the plate because your numbers don't change. You know, it gets perpetuated to everything. Oof. Sorry about that, John. That sucks, man. That's one thing I do like about the Apple Pay thing is if you use your phone to pay and you have to get a new card, it automatically, as soon as they change the number, it still works. Now, granted, you don't have a physical card, but at least you have something, right? So, I hate that. All right, let's see here. Cindy says, toxic people only know extremes. Yeah, black and white too. Right or wrong. You can, it's like there's no gray areas with them. Very, very, John, I'm sorry. Duane is 21 with 30 years of experience. Oh God, to be 21 again. To be 21 and to know what we know now, to make different life choices, different decisions. Anyways, that's funny. I appreciate that. Oh my God, this is a really good one. Wise Chat Manager says at DSD, dealing with a narc ex is a lot like watching the movie Airplane without a sense of humor and trying to take it literally. If we don't laugh, it's quite frustrating. Man, that is so true. And again, I mean, that's kind of a good example of if you try to reason with these people, you're beating your head against the wall. So, and if you guys haven't seen the movie Airplane, that's hilarious. It's an old movie. Actually, I think they have multiple. So, Airplane 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm not sure how far it went up to. Anyways. Oh, hold on. I got to grab this other one. Thank you so much, Kuna, for the super chat. Says, happy 51st birthday. Appreciate that. Oh, Pepe, I don't remember what was going on when you said that. Says, aloha, don't ask questions like that, bruh. I wonder what question did I ask, man? Oh, maybe it was towards someone else. You know what? I'm going to grab this one too. Pepe says, I think the whole Disneyland dad BS is to shame dads that want to do things with their kids. See, again, it's that right. Oh, and that Pepe, that annoyed the crap out of me because I heard that same thing. Oh, he's just Disneyland dad. And I'm like, what? It's like, I can't afford top ramen. Why the hell am I a Disneyland dad? But you're right, man. A narcissistic person will use shame to try to smear you and to control you. See, here's the thing. You go and you do stuff. If you take your kids to Disneyland, not that you could in the last year because of all the shutdowns, but just hypothetically, then it's like, oh, all you do is that, right? You don't do any of the hard stuff. And then if you don't do anything, it's like, oh, you don't do anything with the kids. You spend all the money on yourself. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. They are going to try to spin it to be a negative. And again, this goes back to what I was mentioning earlier. You do whatever the hell you want to do that you feel good about. If that's when you have your kids, taking them and doing something, taking them fishing, taking them to Disneyland, do whatever. As long as you're spending time with them and you're bonding with them, then you're doing okay. And if you're, like I said, it doesn't matter. You do a bunch of stuff with your kids and you're going to get shamed, and that's going to be spun. It's like, all you ever do is, you don't do, like I just said, I don't need to go through that act again, but, all right, I'll see if I can find that one. Debbie highlighted a comment. But anyways, I mean, it's just, it's amazing, and as soon as you guys realize that that's the way the game is played, that's the way they're going to play the game, and you just do what's right for you. If it feels like it's the right thing for you, then do it. If it doesn't, don't. Here's the caveat though. Don't just say no because you can. For instance, I'm trying to think of a scenario. If my kid was like, or if the ex had wrote and said, oh, little Timmy wants to go to the opening of this movie and it's really important, but it's on my time. Can we go? Because they're expecting you to say no, right? They're expecting you to say no to then be like, well, I tried to ask, your dad's a scumbag. Here's the thing. If it's one of those things where it's a low hit to you, look at it from, I often use the war and battle analogy. You could say no and win that battle, but is it going to ultimately hurt you? Now, granted, if it's like, well, I want to live with the other parent now, and I'll see you once every 3 months. Well, obviously that's a no. But I mean, if there's certain things that even though it might irritate the crap out of you, even though it might be like, you know what, I only get so much time. If the little Timmy is looking at you with that glimmer in his eye and they really want to do it, say, okay, sure, of course. And know exactly that you're not, the likelihood that the ex is going to reciprocate whenever you ask is probably going to be no. But see, look, let them make the mistake. Let them, when you could say, hey, little Timmy, I asked the other parent if we could do, we could go to whatever. There's an opening to a comic book store that we really want to go to, and it's on their day. But they said no, let them be the bad guy. Let me know if that makes any sense. I've made videos on that before, but maybe I'm not articulating it really well today. John says, Duane, what I figured out was that my ex was on a self-destructive path of destroying the family. After the kids went to grade school, she started getting worse and just got worse each year. Yeah, they typically do just get worse and worse and worse. So, it's, guys, one of the things that's incredibly frustrating with this is that you think initially that it's going to get better because things will get better. And most people think that means the ex will calm down. They'll start to co-parent. They'll stop doing this crap. The reality is that's not how things get better. Things get better whenever you realize what exactly is going on, and then you take active steps to mitigate what they're doing, to mitigate how it is affecting you. That's how things get better. You get better by working on the issues that trigger your PTSD. You work on it to where, either hopefully if you can find a good trauma therapist, maybe utilize some things like EMDR, hypnosis. I haven't plugged this in a while, but it looks like some people have been seeing this lately. But if you go to my website and you go under the resources tab, if it'll load, for whatever reason, every time I'm doing a live stream and I try to do this, it doesn't work really well. If you scroll down, these hypnosis files were a lifesaver for me. I was struggling, not making any progress. A friend of mine finally said, man, you got to try something different. And maybe hypnosis. I couldn't find a hypnosis and to be honest, this is something I would have never, ever done, ever. I would have never even considered this. But I was so lost. It was so dark at that period of time that I gave this a try, and it really helped. Minju, and these are the ones I use. I think this End of Relationship Hack, they've got some updated ones in it where it has a bunch of them in it. But Unrequited Love, Let It Go, and Mend Your Broken Heart. Getting Over Divorce, I use a little bit, but those other three and these two, I would binge those. I would listen to them in the morning. I would listen to them at lunch. I would listen to them at home. And after about 30 days, coupled with my new idea of the absolute thinking, it really started to help, and it started to calm me down. So, and if you're early in this and you're not really sure, I did this collaboration with Paul Coliani a few years ago when this mean workbook was helps people to determine if you're really in a toxic relationship. So anyways, just wanted to mention that. Pepe, don't call me Shirley. Oh, that's such a funny movie. Wise Chat Manager says it's the 1980 version of Airplane. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I was 24 when I bought my first house. I'm trying to remember. I think I bought mine 29, 30. Oh, just thinking about it's making my eye twitch. I haven't had my eye twitch in a while. It started doing that again this last week. I think it's some stuff going on at work that's starting to get to me. Dan says, credit. What's that? What's that after 9 years in family court? Hey, you know what, Dan? I'll tell you this, man. About the 9-year part, that's where mine started to get better. I'm actually just now crossing over the threshold. Ooh, I got a thumbs down. And there's always that one. And things are finally starting to look up. I mean, I still got a ways to go, but things are definitely getting better. So, Striker. Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, I'm scrolling down. Paul says, Duane, there have been good times with my ex and child, but she's always got her way. Confusing to separate good from bad. In any case, I'm the one that wronged her. Any way around this? Well, no, because see, the thing is you're not with someone like, here's the problem. When you have somebody who is probably, or if you have somebody who basically is in the cluster B type personality traits, you are not, once you're at the point to where you're no longer in their inner circle, you're no longer a source of positive supply in their life. And they don't have to play that game of trying to keep you in check. As soon as you cross that threshold to where you're no longer in the plus column, so to speak, it's over. And you will not be able to, I mean, the only way maybe, and typically I haven't seen this work, is if you could get if you look at the movie The Matrix, right? When Cypher wants to go back in, if you could get plugged back into the Matrix, maybe they might go back to just punishing you the way they used to. But 99.9% of the time, am I back? I don't know if this is going to work because I'm using my phone. So I'd see talk about Equifax, get 2 thumbs down, and the network crashes. All right. If anyone can tell me if they can hear me, I would appreciate it. So I see hi, back. He's back. You're back now. Back in a flash. That was not a flash. That was a train wreck. So apparently my high dollar business grade, well, not business grade, but my high speed cable internet went kaplooey. So what I'm attempting to do right now is use my cell phone to reestablish this live stream. There appears to working for now. 10 by 10 sound and picture. Apparently your ISP and Equifax have something in common. Absolutely. All right. Okay, let me see what I missed. Sorry about that, guys. I was like on a roll. I was on a tangent. Man, we lost like 20 people, which I understand. I mean, we had been on for an hour, so I could see people starting to drift off. Lori says, well, you had a lot of jokesters during your snafu. And I don't even know if I'll see any of that because everything completely died. It was so weird because even my software was like, hey, you have no internet. We're stopping the stream. I'm like, wait, what? No, don't do that. God, it's making my... Oh, there you go. I love this. Did some Ethernet pipe it to null? Pretty much. That's what happened. Oh God. All right, let me see here. I'm gonna try to see what I can see. Okay. Well, we'll have to re-hit the reset button. John says router did a boop with 5 fingers. Yeah, exactly. And all my eyes. Both my eyes. That's hilarious. So, man, we haven't had that happen in a long time. Normally things work. Yellow Hornet, cell phone hotspots, good vibes. Yeah, except that means my phone's going to probably get pretty hot. So we'll see how long this goes. John says, Duane, are you paying the ISP with a credit card breached by Equifax? You know, I might be, now that you mention it. Let me see. Do I actually get to type in my own chat anymore? Let's see here. Yeah, okay. It seems to be working. That's funny. Oh, geez. I don't even know what I see. Defy Dad says, Duane, you left off at 99% of the time. Oh, geez. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I got so sidetracked trying to troubleshoot everything that I forgot what I was saying, and I can't exactly go back and do the rewind. Anyways, all right, that's funny. Somebody tell me where we were at, what the topic was, and I'll see if I can jump back into it. And if you have a topic, let me know. Let's see here. Matrix pills. Let's see. I think what I was saying, thanks for that, Untamed Zilla. I think what I was saying is that once you're on the outs, we'll go back to the Matrix references. Once you're outside of the Matrix, getting back in is nearly impossible. Once you have a situation where they realize they no longer have you and they don't need you, you're pretty much done. And there's no good way to plug back in. I think I was probably going to say is 99% of the time, it's not going to work. If you guys remember in the movie Matrix, Cypher never made it back in. You know, it's just one of those things. You have to live in reality and move, start moving on beyond that. Let me see if I can find that, because that was from Paul. Let me see if I can find that. Paul, why did that not? Oh, you know what? Because it reset. Oh, crap. Yeah, I think that everything, everything from before we started, I can't get to. Darn the luck. Let's see what. Okay, so Paul had said there had been good times with the ex, but she always got her way. Confusing to separate good times from bad in my case. I am the one that wronged her, and anyway, get around this. Okay, yeah, really, there's not going to be a way to get around that. What you have to do is focus on what the reality is. Focus on that you're dealing with somebody who's incredibly damaged, and make sure you have, any interaction. And I know your situation is a little bit different, but I'll say it this way for everyone else who's in the midst of it. You got to really be careful how you do your interaction with somebody like that, because it's going to be just a complicated mess. What you got to do is focus on rebuilding your life, and if you have kids, on how to strengthen the relationship with the kids and how to get things back on track. That has got to be your singular focus. And ruminating about them is a waste of time and energy. And I'll go back to my mindset for narcissistic abuse recovery. This video, You Were in Love with the Illusion, and that's an old video, right? But it's really important because it really helps talk about that, about the fact that you have to live in reality. You can't be fixated on the illusion of what you thought the relationship was. It will drive you crazy. And then preventing to get sucked back in, beware of the nice, how to deal with panic attacks, you're not going crazy. And just this collection of videos is a good primer to help you refocus your life. And if you're new into this, or let's say you've been involved in it a while and you're still struggling, I would go back and rewatch that playlist to help you get on track. Anyways, let me scroll down here. Yeah, the Wise was like, yeah, unlimited phone data plan. I think for the most part, I don't know I think I cap out at like 50 meg or something like that. So, let me see here. I'll grab this. Oh, the smoke's starting to get in the house. Damn it. All right. Aw. That did a super chat. Says, I really appreciate your channel. It is child abuse to do this to another parent. It always hurts your child. Absolutely. It screws with their head. There's no way around it. They go around either feeling like the other parent doesn't care about them. They go around feeling like, they're part of something bad. They go around feeling like maybe they were the cause of it. It's so sad because it really, it would take less effort to work cooperatively together to try to make a good environment for the kids. If you could actually work together, not play these stupid games, not play the control and, mind games, things would just be so much better. But unfortunately, there's nothing we're going to be able to do to convince the other person to do that. And the really sad part is once you set up your boundaries and you minimize the interaction that the ex or the connection that they have in your life, I guarantee you they are then going to try to spin that to say, hey, it's so sad. If only they would work with me and we could focus on the best interest of the kids. But the reality is no matter what you do, they're going to play the game to try to run the narrative to control the illusion. But all the while, it's just so they can go boop right in your eye. And just to throw this out here, guys, because this is typically what happens. Typically, not always, but typically you'll be run through the gauntlet of hell. And once the ex has been able to achieve as much victory as possible, there is probably going to be a time where they're going to try to play the let's be friends card. Well, we need to just let bygones be bygones. It doesn't matter that I've destroyed everything that you worked for. Your reputation, your relationship with your things. You should just let that go. Oh my God. It's crazy times. Crazy times. But yeah, I do agree with you. It is child abuse. And until it gets recognized for it, we're going to be beating our heads against the wall. Ricky says, I watched your videos, kept records, and kept communicating. Let me try that again. Kept communication civil and to the point. Helped a lot. It really does. I mean, it's guys, these concepts are not rocket science. They're actually really simple. Not simple to implement. I'll give you that. It's not easy to do. But once you start doing it, it's like if you're trying to take, it's like baseball and you stop throwing the ball over the pitcher mound. So there's nothing for them to swing at. Typically the problem is we get wrapped up in these communication blunders with them, and it feeds into them being able to keep the chaos going. You got to take it away. So anyways, aw, Theta says, you are an oasis of reason. Much love. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And unless you've changed your name, welcome to the channel, because I haven't seen you around before. Yellow Hornet says, I'm planning on filing a divorce. Got a 1-year-old, and my wife is regretting the things she's done to me, aka she got me locked in jail for domestic violence for 2 days. Oh, man. Goes on to say, hence false allegations, case dismissed, your advice. Here's the thing, guys. When someone shows you who they are, you have to believe it and don't forget it. And you might be saying, well, what does that mean? What I'm saying is, when you have somebody who in the heat of the moment, and it's probably not the heat of the moment, it's probably more well-planned, they try to control you by having you thrown in jail on false charges. I'll even switch it around and say, let's say you did something because you got, well, whatever. There's no excuse, but let's say you did something. Once you have somebody where you're in that situation, stay away from them. When someone shows you who they are and what they're capable of doing, they will do that or worse next time. So, and Yellow Hornet, I feel your pain, man. You got a 1-year-old. You're like, oh my God, how do I fix this? What's your way forward? Now you're probably looking at going, it's 1-year-old, what, do I really want a broken family? Do I really want, to have this be my reality? When you have somebody, and this goes for both men and women, because this has happened to women as well. Not as often, it happens more to men. When you have somebody who's willing to call the police, have you locked up on especially if it's a fake domestic call, you have to know that this person is unstable and is willing to do whatever in the heat of the moment to do whatever they think is in their best interest. And do not make excuses and say, oh, well, in his situation, my wife's an emotional person and it just got out of control. Well, what happens the next time? In that relationship with your child, what are you going to show them is the right way to treat people? You have to be really, I'm sorry, man, because you're saying, what's your advice? Honestly, my advice to you is I would get out, divorce, get as much custody as you can, and stay away from this person, because they've already demonstrated what kind of person they are. Now, the only caveat might be is if you did, in fact, do domestic violence, and maybe she backed off and, is not pressing, whatever. But typically, like in California, if they arrest somebody, it's taken out of the hands of the other person, and the DA, excuse me, is the one who decides what's going to happen. And I had that happen to a friend of mine. So, did I miss another super chat? Debbie was sending me a note, and oh, I did. It just popped up. Okay. So anyways, that's my advice, man. And I'm sorry, because it's not a great situation, and it's going to be it's going to be rough no matter what. Anyways, let me finish that thought. What I was saying is, if you did in fact do it, and the only potential possibility on that would be to get counseling, go to anger management if you did it, and therapy with your ex or with your wife to try to recover it. If it was false allegations and they made it up to control you and to punish you, then get out. All right, Chris did a super chat. Says, it's a pair character. A pair character looking at himself in the mirror saying, "Thanks for being you," with hearts popping out of his eyes. Can I find that? Hold on. Where is that? Come on. Is that it? No. Oh, this chat it's not populating. Let me hit the reset. That's funny, because I wish I could show you guys that. Thanks so much, Chris. I appreciate that. There it is. Now I hit the button. So let me do this. What I'm going to do, because this is just hilarious, is I'm going to go back over to Chrome. And there it is. There's the pair character. Thanks for being you. You guys make me laugh. I really appreciate it. All right. Let me throw this back over here so I can see that. All right. That's hilarious. All right. Okay, so again, if anyone has, let me see if Debbie's tracked anything. Okay, I already covered this one, so I'm going to delete that. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Oh man, I think I just screwed everything up. What do you folks do? Okay, so Dawn had said, Duane, only son 27 is married to a narc, and they had a son 1 year ago who we have never met. She isolated our son. We don't know what to do. Heartbroken. He's in a fog. What did your folks do? See, the problem is, so typically what happens, not always, it depends, right? I mean, so sometimes a toxic person, no matter what, will start to isolate right off the bat. Oftentimes what happens is you start to recognize it, you say something, and then they cut you off because of it. See, it's tough, because now the first step is to try to regain some type of interaction. And that's really hard whenever you've been cut off. And it would honestly, Dawn, it really depends on the specifics. I mean, I could give generalities, but I don't even know. This comment, I'm not sure if that comment came in before it crashed, so I don't think I can pull it up. So, Dawn, if you have some more information, add that and I can try to address it. The basic advice would be to try to get to where you at least have some type of interaction. But that's really tough. When you've been cut off, then it's kind of goes back into what I was talking about before, that, there's not much you can do, because it's like you're trying to get replugged back into the matrix. So it makes it tough. What I normally tell people, or what I'd like to tell people, especially in-laws, before this happens, when you start recognizing something wrong, don't call it out, because it'll blow up in your face, and make sure that you can still stay involved in the relationship and have communications. And then you just have to wait for your adult child, to finally see through the fog. And even then, it's almost like they need to be telling you what's going on. And you need to, when that happens, to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you're going through that. You don't want to turn around and be like, oh my God, I'm finally glad you see it, because in that early stage, it's so easy for someone to get sucked back in. They'll start having that sense of, they'll start seeing reality. However, but the problem is that they can get sucked back into the vortex of chaos super easy. So, all right, let's see. Let us see. All right, I'm trying to scroll down to see what else is going on. I'm going to delete that comment. And let's see. Oh, I'm way far back. So I'm trying to sated. All right. Bashkar, if I'm saying your name right, says, Duane, in a highly toxic relationship, and now my 16-year-old stated because same state. I'm not sure. I think you're saying he became the same as your ex and is now living with them. Here's the thing. If you finally get to the point where you've lost your kid, I mean, there are some things you can try before things go completely south. For instance, a lot of time what happens is we end up taking the bait, not even realizing it, and we start alienating ourselves from our children because of our own actions. I was kind of getting in that in the beginning, and hold on a second. I was kind of getting in that in the beginning, but I was able to adjust the way I was approaching things. It's exactly what happened with my dad. He pretty much would respond exactly the way that my mom had tried to basically prime me that he's going to be this way. Would push his buttons, and then he would respond that way, and then I would think he was a scumbag. And so you might be in a situation where your kid is in that, and for whatever reason, he's now sided with his mom. And if you approach it differently, you might be able to undo some of that. But let's say hypothetically you did all that. You did everything right, and this is the situation you're in. At some point, you just have to kind of cut your losses. You have to cut your losses and say, okay, you know what? I did the best I could. I tried. There's nothing more I could really do. And start picking the pieces back up on your life. The thing is, what I would try to get you to do is still try to have some type of connection. Still maybe go get a coffee or an ice, whatever, not an ice cream, but go to dinner or something to where you could have a conversation with your son, and don't talk about anything about the ex or anything like that. Just make it more about what's going on with him. Like in his situation, a 16-year-old. Well, you didn't say, yeah, you said he. So I'm trying to see okay. And just so you can maintain that connection, right? Because at the end of the day, what you want is you want to be in a situation to help your child not experience the same thing you're experiencing. And having a good, solid connection to where you can have communications going down the road is the key to that. Bashkar, hopefully I'm not butchering your name, but let me know if that was helpful. Now, Ricky said, recently went to court where judge states in court order wow, dude. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I love it whenever I hear that. Says recently, let me put this on the screen. Recently went to court where the judge states in court order that she was manipulating the kids and that filing false reports on Ricky. Have you partially to thank? So thanks, Duane. Well, you are very welcome, Ricky. I'm glad I was able to help. And guys, this is an example of how don't just accept defeat. This is the problem I have with people saying, if you're a man, you're going to lose in family court, and just accept your defeat and roll up in a ball and your life is going to suck and just let it happen. There's so many people who wear that like a badge of freaking honor. Don't do it. Put your head down, follow the advice. And these are the type of comments that I get regularly about how this channel has changed people's lives and helped them to not make mistakes, not give up, and get, I mean, I never got that because I wasn't able to continue to fight, but that's outstanding. I mean, that shows you that the courts sometimes will see reality, but Ricky had to stay laser-like focused, not make mistakes, not get over emotional. And Ricky, let me know if I'm spot on this, because I'm pretty sure I am. And as a result of that, when he was sitting up in front of the man or woman, or I'll just say the judge, he was able to look at it and go, wow, this guy is not displaying any of the characteristics that I normally see on a knucklehead spouse, but this person is. But I guarantee you, if Ricky had been doing the same stupid stuff and hurt his credibility, like I was talking about at the beginning of the first part of the show, before it stopped and I had to start it again, that wouldn't have happened. Worst case, he would have wrote in the court order that they were both knuckleheads. So again, Ricky, that is outstanding, man. Oh, and I was before what you said on the other thing, so I'm glad I saw that. All right. Oh, I scrolled up. That was my problem. Why? I don't even know what you're talking about. I see sounds like DSD is channeling his inner pumpkin. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else? If not, I may start wrapping this up. Let's see. I'm just scrolling down here, seeing if there's any. Oh, geez. Defy Dad says, DSD, my ex, called the police and tried to have me 302'd committed. I refused and proved my competency to the officer by knowing what my personal legal rights are. God, I mean, they just don't stop. They'll try all kinds of stuff. Good for you for being able to fight that, man. It's just exhausting. All this stuff is exhausting. Paul says, Duane, I think it's a good thing to go from little money and hopelessness to one day things will get better, because it sure doesn't look that way now. I tell you what, guys, and I'll tell you what, Paul, this is really tough. And when you're in the middle of, or whenever you're in the dark part of this, you lose hope. You feel like there's no way this is ever going to get better. And that is a very dangerous space to be in. And what I would ask anybody going through that is just try to hold out for the possibility that someday maybe things might get better. Because I can't tell you things are definitely going to get better, even though I may believe it. Because in your own mind, you'll be like, that's too far of a jump. And it was too far of a jump for me. In my dark days of this, it felt like it was never going to get better. And to be honest, the only way I got through this, because I didn't have a channel like this, I didn't have a mentor who understood this, walking me through the process. Mine was just anger towards the ex, basically saying, you're not going to break me. I am not going to give up. I am not going to quit. I'm going to just continue to keep breathing and waking up every day. And sometimes that was really tough. And after a while of working on myself with a good trauma therapist, using the hypnosis stuff I was talking about before, writing in a journal every day saying basically the same thing, I finally got to the point where I was so exhausted, so burnt out, that I'm like, I can't keep doing this anymore. And I finally was able to start to turn the corner and let things go. And everyone's journey on this is going to be a little bit different. Tomorrow it might work for you, or maybe 7 months from now you'll have that epiphany where you'll wake up and everything just clicks. And that's kind of what happened for me. Is I woke up one day and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it was a little more complicated than that, but I woke up one day and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep thinking about her all the effing time. I can't keep ruminating about the past. I can't keep trying to figure this out. And I just was like, okay, I got to start getting my life back. Whatever that means, whatever, however it's going to be. And with work, it started to change. So hopefully you can look at my videos, you can see the story, and if the story relates to you, maybe you can look at somebody who made it to the other side and say, you know what, okay, if this guy can make it to the other side, maybe I can make it to the other side too. And what I'll say on that is, let me pull this up. I created this other channel partly because, it's just creative. But I created this other channel, which is a camping channel called Duane Robert, which I may change the name. And it's to show. Let me shrink this over here. It's just to show living life, exploring, having fun. Because there was a period of time where I didn't think any of this on this channel was possible, that I would ever be doing anything and having fun and stuff like that. Spending time with my daughter, and spending time with Debbie, spending time by myself. Sometimes, like a lot of these latest trips, that one by myself, that one by myself, by myself. I think this one, is by myself. That one was with my daughter, by myself. So you can have good experiences when you're just by yourself. So, for instance, if you're curious in that and you want something different besides that, go ahead and subscribe to that channel and watch some of the videos and comment and all that kind of stuff. Because there's no narcissistic abuse recovery, divorce recovery, any of that on that channel. That channel is about camping and going out and exploring. I'll be working on, I'm about halfway done with the edit from the video from this weekend. That was a train wreck, but I still was able to create a little thing on that. So anyways, my point of that is hopefully you'll see that and go, wow, okay. This guy was able to get his life back. This guy was able to find some peace and joy. You will too. You just take time. Give yourself the time to work through it. All righty. I'm going to scroll down and see if I'm missing anything, and then I will wrap this up. Let's see. Wow, it looks like I missed a lot of that. Well, here's a question. Lori says, Duane, do you think one of the children can be NPD, lack of empathy, like the sociopath narc X? Possible genetic link. I'm afraid of this with one of my children. I see signs. Yeah. There are studies that show that there is potential genetic link, and there's also a lot of evidence for nurture. So what I would say is try not to give up on your kid. It's really tough. Try to be a beacon of light for them to help them through this. But yes, it is highly possible that if we have kids in these situations, that they can fall into that category and pick up these traits. Absolutely. But, you do the best you can. What I would say is, you be the best parent you can. You provide the best example. And when your child becomes an adult, their life is basically handed over to them. I mean, I'm not saying kick them out and, it's like, all right, go out in the world and make your case. But their journey is going to go down whatever path it's set to go down. I like this. The White Chat Manager says, until you're dead, it's never too late. That is so freaking true. And Paul says, Duane, this is a dream, or that is a dream. You look like in the 50s. I am 51 yesterday. Very hard to get back if divorced in your 50s, I hope. It is tough. The older you are, and the harder the part is that you feel like there's just less time to recover. Here's the reality. You can pick, every day is a new day, and you can pick a new path. So anyways, so don't give up. Keep pressing on. And I'll say that just saying, Paul, when I was looking at this in my 40s, like 43, I think is when this whole thing started blowing up. And I was like, oh my God, my life is freaking destroyed. You know, how am I going to find somebody? This is before I met Debbie, obviously. And what am I going to do? I mean, my retirement's destroyed. My finances are destroyed. I'm going to be sitting here twiddling my thumbs for 12 years until all the kids are done. And I really thought that my life was not going to start until I was 55, 56. And it was really depressing. But look at me now. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm 9 years into it. But even when I started this channel 5 years, a little over 5.5 years ago, 5 years ago, things had already turned around. That timeline that I thought wasn't as long as I thought. So, but you got to do work. I mean, you got to start changing how you're doing things. If you have an experience where you've been doing the same thing over and over again, getting the same results, well, you have to try something different. Oh, I like this. Lori says, get outside even if you aren't a camper. Energy is good in nature, even just walking outside. Absolutely. Unless the state's on fire and there's smoke everywhere. Oh, I like this. Tim says, Paul, I am 55, divorced over 7 years now, never too late to recover. Absolutely. It isn't, because you know what? See, let me just say this. My fear for anybody out there is they get sucked into this vortex of chaos. They never get out, and they never have a day of peace on the other side of this. That I think is tragic. So if you get out at 50 or 60 and it takes you 5 or 6 years to recover, and you have 1 year that's good of peace and joy, then, I mean, that you've healed from this and you're not still bitter about it, then you've won. Then you have won. And on that, I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me on this weird live stream. Glad my phone actually worked. Make sure you sign up for the SMS notifications so you know whenever I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to hit the member list button, and oh my God, it's actually working. So thank you, everybody, all the channel members who have made this possible. I know I didn't really pitch that this morning, but thank you so much for that. And on that, guys, be kind to yourself. Don't let these people destroy your life. And I'll catch you on the next one.